What we're seeing going on presently in the state legislature is this movement to get rid of the single-family homes. They put in SB 9, SB 10 they put in, SB 79 they put in. They've got AB 211, which we'll talk about in a moment concerning the golf course, AB 839 and AB 22443 and the amendments that have gone on to that. It's gotten kind of crazy at this point of what they're doing up there. Weiner, who's been pretty much active in that, is probably going to run for Pelosi's seat. He may come out of that, may over in the federal government area. We don't know what he's going to end up doing over there. But nonetheless, there's been this attitude, if you will, in Sacramento that we don't know what we're doing down here. Despite the fact that we did the specific plan out here for Warner Center, that we came up with these great plans on how we're going to do organized construction, that instead the state legislature is basically thumbing their nose at us saying, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't have any right to have your local control over deciding what the densities are going to be and where certain things are going to be built in your locations. What is your plan? What is your plan to be able to work with government leaders and what have you, to work with Sacramento so that we can stop this invasion of our rights to have our own self-determination and to get some of these laws reversed and so that we can have our community back? What's your plan?
Yep. So, John, everything you said, I agree with 100%, and it just makes me so frustrated that we have a state that is looking to take away our rights as a community, as a neighborhood, with the neighborhood councils, as a city, to be able to determine our own future. So really, really aggravating. As you pointed out, we have the Warner Center 2035 plan. CD3 leads the city in new residential units. So if you're going to force housing upon anybody, don't do it to us. But to answer your question specifically, as frustrated as I am, you get more bees with honey than vinegar. And what we need to do is be able to have a relationship with our legislators in Sacramento, because we don't have a choice. And I know we're going to talk about the Woodland Hills Country Club, so I'll save part of that commentary for that. But we need to be able to work with our legislators in Sacramento to work with them to not force these laws upon us. The only way we're going to be successful with that, John, is if the people that are on this call, the voters, make it very clear to our state representatives that this is completely unacceptable. Because there's unfortunately nothing that I'd be able to do as city council member if elected on my own to be able to change any of that. And I don't want to give false hope. I don't want to blow smoke. It is absolutely critical that our state assembly members hear from the public on just how unhappy they are.
There is a bully pulpit on that one. Barri, where are you on this one? What's your plan to be able to help get us back to where we have our local control and have got control of our community again?
Yeah, so thank you, John. So what I want to say about this is I worked in the state legislature in both houses, and I know that a lot of the reason that the state is imposing the laws that the state has imposed is because the local governments, not just Los Angeles, but throughout California, are not meeting the goals that have been set. Our housing goals, they are referred to as our RENA goals. By October 2029, Los Angeles is we are mandated actually to build over 450,000 new housing units. And as of the end of 2024, I don't think the 2025 numbers are available yet, but as of the end of 2024, we only have permitted 17,000 new housing units. So we are woefully short. And that means that by 2029, we are going to get fined by the state. So the way that we work with this and the way that we do this is by working within our city to find places that are acceptable for our community to do this so that we are meeting our goals, so that we aren't subject to Sacramento's imposing their laws on us and taking away local control. And I just want to add that I'm fortunate to have not only the experience having worked here district-based, but in the legislature, but I'm endorsed by every state legislator who has endorsed in this race, every sitting state legislator who is endorsed in this race and representing the Valley. So I will leverage my relationships, and I'll go up to Sacramento if I have to, and I will be the voice for our community and say, this doesn't work. And what we need to do is we need to get involved early. We cannot wait. We cannot wait. If something is being proposed, we need to get involved early.
It seems to me that a lot of that legislation could be excluding the areas that are doing responsible development and let the other ones do something. But this is just a broad sweeping, cookie cutter, let's fit all. Mr. Celona, what's your plan on being able to work with state legislature to get them to give back the control so we can decide what areas are going to have that density that we need to have, and not just have the laws open up to where the developers can decide what the density is going to be.
Yeah, I agree. So, to my esteemed colleagues, I think they've done a good job of rounding things out. And I'll put a bow on this for all of us. And we tend, I find, to kick the can down the road. So the state is forcing our hands on certain things. You can't put your head in the ground when it comes to dealing with housing, when it comes to understanding like, okay, we have to build certain things, but we need to make sure that we're building in the right places. We don't want to be building in fire zones. We don't want to be building where the roads can't take care of it. And at the end of the day, if we're able to start moving a little faster, yes, we have to go up and work with various people. I mean, I've had to work with, oh my gosh, so many different people of different not aligned interests. And we got there because the overall goal was, how do we house people, right? Or what is the project supposed to accomplish? And the team we've put together thus far, and we're still going to keep building, is they're all experts with business negotiations, working with developers, things of that nature. And if we can start to get ahead of this, look, it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes to have these conversations, but as a community, we have to come together to start proposing solutions so that we can keep what the single houses are over here, and we can build where the housing has access to easy mass transportation.
That sort of brings us in, I think, to be talking about what's going on with the golf course at this point. Barry, I want to come to you on starting with this one. First of all, have you met with any of the developers concerning the proposed project on the Woodland Hills Country Club?
I have met with one of them, I believe.
And who is that?
Trying to remember their name. I'll look it up for you. I'm sorry, I don't have the name in handy. It was a while ago.
Under what circumstances did you meet? Was this an organized meeting? Were you invited? Did you invite them?
No, it was not. It was a meeting with their representative, and they were there it was for something else. I think it was for a different project.
I call them, if I may, I call them the expediters. These are the people that are basically representing to get stuff pushed through. Yeah. So that's who you represent. That's who you met with. Yeah. Mr. Celona, have you met with any of the developers? Okay, Tim, have you met with any developers?
Yep.
Who have you met with, Tim?
So the expediter you're referring to is Aaron Green, and then the owner of the course is Phil Wilson, and then I believe I met with Jeremy Oglenik, and they don't like me.
How don't they like you?
I wrote a very pointed article that they had a copy of, where I was saying you cannot build this project for a number of reasons, and they had a copy of it, and they didn't like it.
So you actually met with Jeremy, and you met with Phil as well?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Under what circumstances you invite them? They invite you.
They invited me to the country club for lunch.
Okay. Very good. Barry, let's come back to you on that one. Are you aware of the present status of what the city is doing concerning the application for the builders at the golf course?
Yeah, on February 17th, the city planning department put out a letter saying that the project is inconsistent with the mixed income housing developments along commercial corridors, the whole AB 2011. And at this point, as filed, it does not qualify for ministerial streamlined processing.
Just an update to you that we now have one from March the 17th as well. That basically indicates a further indication of that. I will let all of you know that that perhaps don't know presently, haven't seen this, that they indicated at the conclusion, back up, that they indicated that the application is deemed to be incomplete, inconsistent, and non-compliant. And the process now is placed on hold. The third letter they've sent out to them, at the conclusion of the letter, it indicates that in the event that all of the requested materials, and by the way, this is 167 pages long, with a number of things that have to be check marked and things are being requested to come back, that if those materials are not provided within 60 days of the date of this letter, the department may initiate termination of the case. So be aware that that's what's going on to it. Barry, do you support this project? And if you do, why? If you don't support it, why not? And again, for some background to it, that 2011, AB 2011 provided an exception that allowed this to start up, which has to do with a commercial zone, that if an area has 75 feet to 150 feet road that's next in front of the areas to it, that's considered to be a commercial zone. It was then thought that the area along Canoga would be considered to be a commercial zone, and therefore you can build basically whatever you want without having to go through CEQA, without having to go through any hearings, or you can do it by matter of right. And what's your position on this particular project?
Sorry, you cut out there for a second, John, but I think I got the question. So for me, I'm very concerned about fire safety, and I want to ensure that any projects proposed in any part of our community have a clear plan for fire safety. And I have not seen that yet for this. So, and as I say with all housing projects, we need to make sure that infrastructure goes hand in hand with housing proposals, especially of this magnitude. So
As you see it now, do you support it, or are you against it?
So at this point, I do not have enough information because I have not seen any plans for fire safety, and so that is my big concern. And I want to see where the plans for fire safety are.
Well, right now, there's no plans for the fire safety. So if there's no plans for fire safety, is it your position that you don't want it until they can produce that?
I need to see. Yeah, I need to see the plans for fire safety.
Right now, if I understand correctly, you're against it until they can produce something that indicates that there's fire safety that's as part of that project.
This is where I am right now, and I do believe we need housing in our communities, but I'm very concerned about fire safety.
I just want to be clear that my statement to you is an accurate statement. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm not taking a position yet, but yes, I am very concerned about the fire safety. So yes.
Well, all right. So let's be clear then. So you're not taking a position one way or the other at the present time, or are you taking the position that because you're not seeing a fire prevention issue that you're against it until you do see that? Which of those two are you on?
Until I see a fire prevention plan, I cannot support any project in our community that doesn't have a plan for fire prevention. So
then, again, we're parsing words here now.
And I hear what you're saying.
And the other candidates are going to get the same question into it. Are you for it, or are you against it? If you're against it because it hasn't done a fire plan, let us know that. If you're for it, and say,
I'm not stating.
I don't have any opinion at this point at all. Where are you?
No. I have an opinion, and my opinion is that I am very, very concerned because I do not see a plan for fire safety at this point, and so I am not supporting any projects in our community that don't have a plan for fire safety.
And that would include this particular project as well.
At this point.
Okay, Mr. Celona, where are you on this particular project?
Hey, dude, you're killing it with my last name. So I stand with the firefighters, guys. It's simple. We should not be fast tracking a project on fire hazard land, period. If they come back with something and the fire department gives us a thumbs up, I will revisit it. But after I got evacuated from the fires, no way. We need a plan. And you know what? That's it.
Have you driven up in this area at all, up in the Woodland Hills area that's south of Ventura up to Mohon?
Oh, quite a bit, yeah.
Okay, then you know how small the streets are and how.
Dude, yeah, this is like the guys are stressed. The fire department is not happy, like already. Like, and when they're stressed, we should be stressed. It's not rocket science.
Another question that kind of follows with some of your background. Tim, where are you on this particular project?
100% against it, and definitely because of the fire issue, but not just that. This project is bypassing the community completely. The community doesn't even have a seat at the table. And that is completely wrong. And so that's what I wrote the article about. I held an event at Woodland Hills Community Church about this. Bob Blumenfield was there and spoke. The community is really, really upset, and rightfully so. Anytime a project is built of any size, and especially this size, the community has a right to be at the table. You don't have the right to lock them out. That's exactly what I told the builders when I had lunch with them, which is why they don't like me. That's not okay. You can't just bypass the neighborhood council. You can't just bypass the city council. And just a quick update. So
are the homeowners?
What's that?
Are the homeowners organization?
Especially the homeowners association.
100%.
But so Bob is currently trying to get the definition of the word vacant changed so that it would apply to the Woodland Hills Country Club, because if the country club is considered vacant land, then they're not allowed to utilize these laws to be able to build. I know Bob is I think if I'm not mistaken, he's going to Sacramento tomorrow. So there could be an update on this within the next couple of days, hopefully. But John, there were 3 laws that were used to be able to put this country club in motion. So AB 2011 you mentioned, but then there was the law change that allowed Canoga to all of a sudden be considered a commercial thoroughfare, which is baloney. And then there was a law change that made it so that the Woodland Hills Girard Track Scenic Plan, I'm sure I have some of the verbiage wrong, and one other scenic plan, any plan over 25 years old no longer applies.
That's the Mulholland specific plan as well as the Girard Track plan. And right. Again, you're correct. Anything that was old in that is no longer in force and effect.
So the idea that these three laws just so happened to come together at this time, and then literally just a few days later, these plans were submitted, and to tell me that that wasn't done on purpose, it seems like common sense that this was all done at the same time for this plan specifically, and it's not okay.
And let's take the following. I'm going to go back reverse order at this point, and then we'll open up you guys for some conclusions. We're a little bit over.